Okay, you're gonna stay up just like this. Okay, okay. I'm in awe. It's so quiet outside. You can't hear anything. Just the sound of the wind and some birds. I'm in heaven. Oh. Being somewhere more rural where you don't have noise, I'm so grateful for it. I realize this probably isn't the type of video you were expecting to see. I have been working on a new video, but I realized that I have a bunch of updates and answers to questions that I've been getting from you guys. Why did we move? Where did we move to? Am I gonna have an upload schedule at this new location, this new chapter in my life? How did you go from getting 1 cat to now having 3 cats in the span of just a few months? Am I going to be releasing new merch slash like sweatshirts for this spring? And if I am, what is the theme gonna be? I'm so excited for this new chapter in my life, and spring is only like 20 days away. So I just wanted to have a sit down chat with you guys. If this type of video isn't really your thing, I totally understand. Come back to my next video and it will be my usual content. But if you're interested in having a nice cozy chat, please stay and let's just jump in. Okay, so first I'm going to talk briefly about the move and then my upload schedule, because they kind of go hand in hand. A lot of you know that up until this point I've been living in Utah and I loved it. The mountains there are like a magical sacred place for me. I love them, and being up in them, I feel like I really found myself there. I'm always going to have a very special place in my heart for Utah, but my whole life I've always felt like maybe I belong in New England. After coming here this past October, I fell in love with it, and I just knew that this needed to be the next chapter of our life. And so we are officially here. We moved here at the very beginning of February, and we are in Rhode Island. Now you might be wondering, why Rhode Island? And to you I answer, why not Rhode Island? It's beautiful, and it's in such a good location. You can go down to Connecticut, you can go up to Massachusetts and Maine, but also the real answer is we are going to be here until June, and we're going to use that time to explore Massachusetts, Connecticut, maybe parts of Maine, and maybe parts of upstate New York to see where we feel like home is, if that makes sense. Right now we're in a short-term rental. So when our lease is up in this short-term rental, we will be choosing where we want to stay more long-term. So yeah, who knows? We could be in Massachusetts next, or Connecticut, or in Rhode Island. I'm having so much fun already exploring the beaches and the cute, quaint little towns here. Have you ever been somewhere and you feel like a puzzle piece that's being put in the proper place? Like everything just clicks, and you're not trying to force anything, it's all just right. That's how it feels being here in New England. Moving on to upload schedule. In the past, I've really struggled with an upload schedule because I feel like my creativity like owns me, and I'll be ready to sit down and work or sit down and edit, and it's just not there. And so I will wait and then try it again 6 hours later. And if it's not there, I go do something else. But then the next day I'll sit down and I'll get through 8 hours of editing nonstop, and I feel so proud of what I created, and it just feels right. So a lot of the time I don't force it and I wait until it feels right. Same with filming. I will wake up one day and have so many ideas and inspiration for filming, and then the next day I will feel absolutely nothing. But a lot of that has been tied in with my health, which I'll get to in a bit. That's why I have struggled with having an upload schedule in the past. But moving forward, as I'm working on things with my health and we're in a new place and I just feel so invigorated and ready to go, I'm gonna aim to upload every other weekend. And I say weekend again because I wanna give myself some grace and some space and not force myself to get a video up by a certain day if I feel like it's not ready. I'm very much a perfectionist, but also I know what my potential is to create something good that's gonna be meaningful to you guys, and I don't like rushing that, so I hope that's okay. So I'm gonna aim for Friday, Saturday, or Sunday every other week. You might be wondering why I can't do every week. That's because generally filming can take me anywhere from 10 to 20 hours depending on the length of the video and the content in the video. And then editing usually takes me at least like another 20 to 30 hours. And doing that all in 1 week would make it so I have pretty much no downtime. And I used to do that. I used to work through weekends and never take days off for myself. But this year I am putting my mental health absolutely first above everything else, and that means that I have to take some days off to relax, not be planning, not be doing anything having to do with videos, Patreon, anything. So that is why I'll be doing every other week. Moving on to health updates. A lot of you know that I have been sick for the past 13 months. I got COVID in January 2022. And I was pretty much fine. But then after COVID went away, literally the day after my fever went away, I woke up with a plethora of weird symptoms. First and foremost being this internal buzzing and vibrating throughout every centimeter of my body. I describe it to people as it feels like every single nerve is on caffeine jumping around, and that's how it feels. And then other weird things like extreme body cramps and super blurred vision and dizziness and so many other things. But I've been working through it with a doctor, and I eventually felt like we just weren't making progress. So I found a functional medicine doctor in Orem, Utah. His name is Dr. Peterson. He's amazing, and he ran really intensive tests. Up until this point, my regular family doctor had told me, and we had just accepted that I had long COVID, like a lot of people. And I went up to the long COVID clinic at the University of Utah. They did nothing. It was disheartening because I waited for months to get into that clinic, and they basically just said, go see a neurologist. So after meeting with so many specialists, fast forward to meeting with Dr. Peterson, they look at what's really going on. I got 3 diagnoses that I was quite shocked by. The first one being chronic Lyme disease, which was a bit hard for me to swallow when I first got the news, because I know that that can be difficult to work on and to deal with, the flare-ups and everything that comes along with that. And then on top of that, I found out that I have a parasite, Toxoplasma gondii parasite, which I most likely got from our new cat, Benedict. He was quite sick when we first got him. He had really bad diarrhea, and I was cleaning up his poop in his litter box all the time. And you most likely get that parasite from cat poop or dirt outside. And 80% of people get it, but your immune system just takes care of it. But because mine was overwhelmed and a bit weak, it wasn't able to take care of it on its own. So I had the parasite, and then I also found out I have toxic mold poisoning. And again, people ask me like, do you live in a really damp apartment? Where did you get mold from? The thing is, I didn't live in a damp apartment that I know of. Between 60 to 80% of Americans are living with mold, and they don't realize it, or their immune systems are able to handle it. Which led to another interesting find. The genetics from my mom and my dad made it so that I got this gene that makes it so my body doesn't remove toxins like on its own very well. I don't know the technical terms, but I build up toxins and my body isn't able to clean them and flush them out, which is why most people who are maybe living around mold, they're okay, their bodies can get rid of it, but because mine doesn't flush out toxins very well, it's just built up over time. And if I had to guess, I would say I might have been exposed to it when I was going to university in Hawaii, because the dorms that we lived in were really, really old, and mold just grows like crazy there in Hawaii because of the humidity. COVID was probably the straw that broke the camel's back, that I had all of these issues before, but they were basically invisible. My body was doing okay at dealing with them. And then after COVID, it was too overwhelmed and everything was brought to the surface. I don't want to talk about this for too long, but this is why my content has been slightly more spaced out. I would wake up some days and not be able to really get out of bed. But now I have these answers and I feel so relieved. It's bittersweet because I don't want to have Lyme disease, but at least I know now what it is. So I'm on treatment for a lot of these things. I'm just glad that I'm finally on the track to take care of these things. I just want to end this health part by saying, if you've been told by your doctors that your tests came back fine, but you know you don't feel fine, push for more testing or find a functional medicine doctor. My doctor tested for Lyme and she said I didn't have it. And then when I went to Dr. Peterson, they were able to do like more tests, deeper tests, and they found out that I had it. So advocate for yourself if you know that something is wrong and trust your intuition. Okay, so for merch, I don't really like to call it merch because it doesn't say like a Darling Desi on it, but I've made sweatshirts in the past. I made the Autumn Enthusiast collection, which I was very proud of. My sweatshirts, they said, Mentally I'm in Stars Hollow, Autumn Enthusiast, and my favorite color is October. I designed winter ones, but with moving, I never got around to actually selling them. I just want to show them to you because I loved them. So this one says, I smell snow. I did a poll on Instagram and I asked what you wanted to see on winter sweatshirts, and this was the top winning phrase. And then we also have this one. It's on like a cream color sweatshirt and it says, in my hibernation era, which is definitely me all winter. And the difference between this and the Autumn Enthusiast collection is I made the text a bit smaller. And then lastly, on this forest green, I love this green. I think it's so pretty. It looks darker on the camera than it does in real life, but I think that's just because it's getting kind of dark outside. But it says Winter Enthusiast. It's also still a little bit smaller than the Autumn Enthusiast. And in the process of making those and realizing that I wasn't gonna get them out in time for winter, I started designing spring sweatshirts. Right now we are in the waiting stage to hear back from a manufacturer with samples, but I am planning on doing a pink sweatshirt that says Most Ardently in a darker pink for my Pride and Prejudice girlies. I have a lighter blue sweatshirt that's gonna say Spring Enthusiast with an embroidered flower, like a daisy next to it. And then I'm thinking of either green or yellow. I think I'm getting samples in both of them that say I'd rather be at Green Gables, because who wouldn't rather be at Green Gables during springtime? So I'm hoping to be releasing those soon. After I get the samples, I will get photos up on the website and get everything ready. I thought about doing t-shirts, but honestly, I don't wear t-shirts that often, but I can always find an occasion to wear a sweatshirt no matter the season. At nights, I'm always cold, whether it's winter or summer, so I will still be doing sweatshirts. I might do t-shirts for summer if you guys want, or I was thinking of possibly venturing out and doing robes or like hair bandanas. I don't know, I have a lot of ideas, so let me know what you guys would like to see, because I want to make stuff that you guys are actually going to wear, but that's not like basic like merch. I want it to feel like we're all part of a cozy club, a kindred spirits club, if you will. We all are wearing, like we're all twinning and wearing the same sweatshirt or hair bandana or hair bow. I like the idea that you could be walking around somewhere in the world and see someone else wearing the same I'd rather be in Green Gables sweatshirt and instantly know that they are a kindred spirit. So that is my, I don't know what to call it, merch, shop, creations, update. I just don't like the word merch because it makes me feel like I'm like some big YouTuber that's selling clothes with my name on it. If anybody else has a better idea of what I can call my sweatshirts, I would love to hear your thoughts. Another common question on my last video was, who's that new white cat in your videos? A lot of you know Binks. We got her in October. Our first cat ever, and we love her, but our vet recommended that she get a sibling that is older than her. So this is Mr. Benedict. He is a ragdoll. You can see he's kind of floppy. When we got Binks, it was clear that she had single kitten syndrome and pretty intense play aggression. And so our vet recommended getting an older cat that can kind of teach Binks how to play and not bite too hard. But before we got Benedict here, I had found a breeder online, and she's actually the one that inspired me to get a cat in the first place. That litter was a really special litter for multiple reasons, and I had already put down a deposit for one of the kittens before we got Benedict, so that is why we have 3 cats. I love Benedict and Binks to pieces. But Binks, you can barely touch her without her biting you. And Benedict grew up partially in a cage until he was like 5.5 months old. So we're still teaching him how to accept affection and cuddles. So that's where Gatsby comes in. Oh, bless you. This is Gatsby, and he is absolute perfection. He's everything I could have ever wanted in a cat. He is a flame point ragdoll, which is why he has orange on his nose and on his ears and on his tail. He is 4 months old and just an absolute precious angel. There you go. There you go. I mean, why have 1 cat when you could have 3? Right? Taylor Swift has 3 cats, and nobody questions her, so I don't see why anybody would question it. Plus, I like to think of pets and animals in general as kind of these beings that carry magic inside of them. When you're surrounded by animals, you just feel good, right? At least that's how I feel. So having more animals basically means more magic in your life. They're precious, beautiful beings, and we don't have any kids, so they are really like our children. Are those all my updates? I think that's it. I'm so excited that spring is almost here. It's 20 days away. 21, 22, 20? Around there. This is one of my favorite seasons. I know I say that about every season, but really, spring and fall, those seasons own my heart. I have lots of reading plans. First up, I plan on reading these books. I'll put them on the screen. I'm very excited for spring reading. I think I'm gonna be really into cozy, heartwarming, London season and Regency England, everything, tea parties and fairies and pastels and woodland creatures and cozy adventures. I just really want to say thank you for watching this, especially if you watched this far. Most people don't watch past like 30%. It's hard for me to believe that people would sit down and watch this, unless you're like my mom. I know she watches all my videos. Thank you so much for still being here, especially with me being so inconsistent with content the past year as I've been navigating my health and prioritizing mental health. This is my full-time job and I need to be here creating content. It was a bit rough for a little while figuring out how to do both, but you guys have stuck with me and I can't thank you enough. I just want to give you all a big virtual hug and bake you cookies or brownies and invite you over for a tea party. I really wish that we could just get together and do that. You guys have stuck with me through so much and I don't know how to say thank you enough other than just saying thank you. I love you guys so much. If there's any content that you would like to see going into spring, definitely let me know. The sun is starting to go down just a bit and it's so beautiful outside. I love being able to see trees out my window. You have no idea. Before it was just buildings and a motel and a Domino's. It makes me so happy. I will see you with another video very soon. I love you guys. And yeah, please be kind to yourselves. I will see you soon. Bye, friends. All right, guys, I gotta start the video. So you've gotta chill, lay down, or head to a different room. Benedict, you're too big, you're gonna fall. No, Benny, don't do it. Go lay down. There you go. Oh. Knowing myself, oh my gosh. Am I gonna have to redo that whole thing? I don't know, I should test it. Okay. We can chat. So I just wanted to I go grab a treat or a drink, go grab a treat, go grab a snack. I had always autumn enthusiast and my favorite color is October. It's a little bright, isn't it?